Hey guys, this is Nicole Scott.
And this is Sascha Pallenberg.
And today we're gonna take a look at the brand new Lenovo Yoga Tablet A that we just unboxed, of course.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this review because this doesn't look like every other tablet that's on the market. We finally have something a little bit different.
Well, we have to admit that we're huge IdeaPad yoga fans, right? We're using this kind of two-in-one or PC Plus strategy, right? And somehow they kind of brought a little bit to a tablet form factor.
Yeah, actually, I just realized we're both Yoga users. I'm using the Yoga 2 Pro and you're using the 11.
Yeah, I'm using the 11 as the IdeaPad, and I love it.
Yeah, me too. I love the 2 Pro. Absolutely amazing.
So what we have right now, well, obviously, as the name is already telling you, this is an 8-inch device, IPS display 1280 by 800, has a Quad Core SoC in there. It's super thin, it is very light, and as Nicole already said, it has an amazing build quality.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing something that's metal, and it has an integrated stand, and this is something that we're not seeing any other time, except for, what was it, the Notion Ink.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
I think the Notion Ink Atom kind of had this bulky side where you can hold it like as an ebook reader, like this way. And the Sony Tablet S also had this kind of wedge design. So somehow it got a little bit inspired by it, but with this stand, in my opinion, it brought it to a whole new level right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm excited to check it out because they've really given it like specific purposes.
Yeah.
Right? The battery bump is there because it's ease of holding for ebook reading. The stand is there as a secondary display, and the processor is good enough for all the things that it wants to do. So it's nice to see a tablet manufacturer actually go, okay, this is what we want it to do, and this is what we want it to be good at.
Well, today is the 30th of October. That means it's going to be available from today on, starting at $229. We're going to give it a very detailed review right now. So I guess you guys should just check it out.
All right, so let's take it out of the box and see what we've got. So obviously it's an 8-inch tablet. Here it is in the foil, but we'll get to that in just a second. If we open this up, we've got the 8 or the 10 instruction booklet, so it's kind of like a 2-in-1. Just quickly take a look. Here, many languages. So there is a micro USB cable there. And then we have a PSU. This one is for England because this tablet did come from Germany. And these are little stickers for the feet. So taking a look at the tablet itself, you can see that it is 8 inches and it comes with some instructions on the back about using the integrated tablet stand. So the 8-inch display is 1280 by 800. The power button is over here on the side beside a micro USB port. Now just taking a look at the tablet itself, it is made out of a really nice metal material. So on the back you can open it up so that it can have its own integrated stand. But what is cool is that here you have your micro SD card slot, and there's actually nothing there, but if this tablet did come with 3G, that's where you would put your SIM in. Around the other side, we have the headphone jack, and then we do have the power button as well as microphone right there. You can see on the other side right here, that's where we had our 5-megapixel camera, and then on the front up here, we had a 1.2 megapixel shooter. So I'm just going to hit the power button to turn this on to give you an idea of boot time. So now this is running a MediaTek Quad Core processor, the MT8125. So now this is not the fastest processor on the block. It's more aimed at general tablet use. So this isn't really a gaming tablet per se, but you can play some games. I did an entire video showing you which graphically intensive games work and don't work. So you can check that out in our playlist of the Yoga 8 tablet. So the built-in stand actually allows for a few different ways that you can use the tablet. 8 inch is a little small for typing. Perhaps the 10-inch might work when it's in this tilt mode. But what is pretty cool is that when you do have it in this mode, just for watching movies or checking things out, you can actually tilt the display to various angles, right? It is robust enough that and stiff enough that you can kind of have it laying back, right? Obviously, you're not going to be really one to use it in the touch mode that far back, but the stand is flexible enough that you can kind of give it a little bit of extra leeway.
Well, talking about the design of the new Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8, I would like to show you a device that I've been using for way over 2 years. That's the Sony Tablet S, and kind of had this wedge design, which makes it very, very easy to use it as a magazine or ebook reader. And somehow, I think this is something that Lenovo had in mind when they designed the new Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8. But I would love to compare it to some more recent device, and therefore I have an iPad mini over here and the new Nexus 7. Let's dive right into it and let's talk about screen sizes. 8-inch on the Lenovo, 7.9 on the iPad mini, 7-inch on the new Nexus 7. Resolution 1280 by 800, 1024 by 768, which is a 4:3 ratio, and 1920 by 1200. They're both using pretty much the same display technology, IPS LCD displays, but I have to tell you, I think in my personal opinion, the Lenovo comes out on top. This is a brilliant display. The viewing angles are absolutely amazing, good color saturation and a great brightness. When it comes to the thickness of this device, I mean, that's a little bit tricky. We have 8.7 millimeters on the new Nexus 7. We have 7.2 millimeters on the iPad mini, and we have how are we going to define this? I can tell you that this is in between, well, that's at least what Lenovo is saying, 3 and 7.3 millimeters. I'm pretty sure that they weren't measuring it over here. But you know what? This feels insanely thin on this side, and then it's getting a little bit more, yes, exactly, bulky. In terms of weights, this is 401 grams. The iPad mini is 312 grams, while the new Nexus 7 comes in as the lightest one with 290 grams. We have different SoCs on here. This is a quad core, that's a quad core, that's a dual core. In terms of technology, that's the oldest SoC pretty much, the Apple A5. That's a Cortex A9 dual core SoC, and it's clocked at 1 gigahertz. And I'm not sure if it is as competitive in terms of the performance as the Lenovo tablet, because this has a MediaTek 8125. That's a Cortex A7 quad-core clocked at 1.2 gigahertz, while, this is the performance beast compared to all these other devices, because this is a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro. No, actually, it's not really an S4 Pro. They named it the S4 Pro. Actually, it's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 600. Comes with the Adreno 320 GPU quad-core. Kind of a Cortex A15. Qualcomm is using its own design, clocked at 1.5 gigahertz. Just trust me, it's going to drive circles around all the others. I guess it would be faster than the both of them together, if that makes any sense at all. In terms of RAM, 1 gigabyte, 512 MB, 2 gigabytes. Again, it comes on top here. In terms of internal storage, we have versions of 16, 32, 32, and there's also a 64 gigabyte version on the for the iPad mini, but you just can upgrade them with micro SD cards, and you can do this here by just opening the stand on the Lenovo, get your micro SD card in there up to 64 gigabytes. And last but not least, that's it pretty much, right? They have completely different designs. We're getting this, different materials. This is all plastic here. This is a kind of aluminum. And the same is here on the Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8.
So now taking a look at the software on the Yoga 8, you can see that it does have Android 4.2.2, which is a really good build. But the thing is, this is a skin that is not like vanilla Android at all, actually. It does have the notification bars, which are here, so it does have a quick mode, so you can put it in stand or tilt, auto rotate on or off, Dolby surround sound. You can do the screen timeout directly from here, and on the other side you can do your notifications just like usual. But if you click on any given part of the screen, you can launch in to place widgets. So in the vanilla Android backend, you would kind of get widgets in with your apps, but here you don't really have that option. Here, if you pull this down, you can change your home screen to any of these just by clicking through or adding in different pages or removing entire pages. All right, so here we have the Yoga and the iPad mini side by side. Now, if you swipe over, you get all of your applications. So this in itself is very similar. If you hold this down over here, you can change your wallpaper, you can add a new display. So that definitely is a shortcut to here. But let's just go into settings. And this is the other area that I kind of thought was similar. So when you pull up the settings, it's set up very similar to what Apple has done here.
Well, it was kind of predictable that when it comes to benchmark results, the new Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8 is definitely not the most competitive device that is available on the market. This is a quad-core Cortex A7, low-cost SoC, low power consumption, and I think the benchmark results are speaking for themselves. I think the new Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8 has one of the best panels that is available on the market, at least when we're talking about displays with a resolution of 1280 by 800. I mean, look at the color saturation here. That looks absolutely brilliant. It's very bright and the viewing angles are amazing. That looks great. Of course, you can complain that this is not a 1080p display, but you know what? I think this is absolutely good enough. You can still run your 720p HD movies on it. I mean, this is another really, really good example of how crisp this display is. And of course, you know, due to the fact that this is a very kind of ultra-mobile tablet, we've been also taking it outside of our office, and Nicole is giving it a test in the bright sunlight.
All right, so here we are outside. The Yoga 8 is set to 100% brightness. If we hit it right on, it's kind of doable, but let's just hit the viewing angles on this. It's really super glossy when you're this is outside in the shade. So here we're going to take a closer look at the rear-facing camera. Now it is a little bit awkward when you go to turn it on, so let's just hit the camera app here. Now you kind of want to hold it down here, but since the camera is located at the bottom, you'd actually put your hand right on top. So you have to make sure that you're holding it just up just a little bit higher. So now it does have a couple of cool features, like if you hold this down, that will do a continuous shoot. So you can see that the number counter was up there at the top. Let's auto delete them all. And there are quite a few features within here. So we can do GPS tracking, exposure, and you can scroll it up or down, color effect as well. So you have some right in camera options, a screen mode, so you can do sunset, portrait, night, beach, snow, a white balance on or off. You can choose where to store them, anti-flicker, and then of course you can also shoot videos. So you can turn the microphone on or off. You can also add in a line level to make sure that you are shooting properly, and there is also different options for how high quality you want the video to be. We have separated camera and video buttons. So let's just, I'm going to pop in some video footage right now of the park. And then I'll also head over to the Taipei Arena and take a shot there. So here we've got the Lenovo Yoga 8 tablet. So this is a test of the rear-facing camera as well as the microphone.
Let's talk a little bit about the sound quality that is coming out of these, yes, two front-facing speakers. Congrats Lenovo for getting it in there, because this is something that before that we've only seen on the Galaxy Notes from Samsung, and of course in the smartphone world on the HTC One. And trust me, these speakers are absolutely amazing. Let me give you an idea here. So this is full volume here. These are, without a doubt, by far the best speakers in a tablet that we've ever tested here in our office. Good job, Lenovo. So this was our detailed review of the brand new Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8, and I guess it's time to wrap it all up.
Yeah, what did we think?
What did we think?
When it comes to hardware, I'm on board. I know it's not the highest spec tablet out there, but I think for what Lenovo wanted it to do, multimedia consumption, a little bit of second screen, it's not a gaming powerhouse, it's just a well-designed, solid tablet. So I think it's okay.
Well, somehow I agree with you, Nicole, but we also need to compare it to, for example, the Asus Nexus 7, the new one, which has a much more powerful processor, has more RAM, and in general also has a better display. And therefore, I think this is a little bit above mediocre specifications for a tablet of this category.
When it comes to the design and build quality of this tablet, I am so excited that this does not look like every single other tablet that's on the market. It's made of aluminum, it's got that kickstand built in. I think the design and build quality is fabulous.
Well, you know, I couldn't agree more. It's really hard to find any negative aspect about this tablet here. I think the design is so unique. Well, we saw it somehow on the Notion Lake. Adam, we saw it somehow on the Sony Tablet S, but they brought it to a new level. It looks good, it feels good. You know what, actually, when you're opening the stand for the very first time and you feel the mechanism and the build quality of it, you know that you have a quality product in your hand. And I mean, this is still gonna look great in 2, 3, 4 years.
When we look at the display, I think that they didn't do a bad job. The IPS display that they used was good quality, the color range was good, there's no bleeding around the edges. I mean, you're right, it's not 1080p, but it's not bad.
Well, absolutely. But once again, we have to compare it to its competitors, and therefore the Nexus 7 or even other devices at a 7-inch category, they're coming with 1080p displays. I still have to give you this. This is probably the best 720p display that I've ever seen in this category. The viewing angles are great, the brightness is great. It's just a really, really good display, even though that this is definitely not the best display on the market for an ultra-mobile tablet.
Taking a close look at the camera, I have to say I've never seen a camera in a weirder location. It's kind of in the way, you're covering it up, and to boot, the quality's not that great.
Well, I totally agree with you, Nicole. But in general, I think, you know, cameras on a tablet, okay, I'm getting this kind of video calling thing, but to take pictures like this, I mean, it's okayish on an 8 or 7-inch device, but especially with 10-inch device, it looks completely weird. And therefore, you know what, I don't even care that this is a mediocre camera. I'm not going to use it anyways.
Sound on a tablet. This is a dual speaker beast. Basically, it's one of the best sounding tablets that I've pretty much ever heard, maybe.
Well, definitely. Yeah. I don't even know what we can compare it to right now. I mean, we've already had the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 with the front-facing speakers, but this is nowhere near what Lenovo squeezed into the small little 8-inch form factor. It sounds amazing. So therefore, these are by far the best speakers we've ever tested in the tablet form factor.
When it comes to performance, this is not going to be winning any races at all. It's kind of a middle of the barrel, maybe lower end, even when it comes to performance.
Well, it kind of is, Nicole, but what we have to keep in mind is this is your benchmark perspective on it. With the average user, and when you're opening apps, when you're on the UI, the way apps are opening, the way you can multitask with it, in my opinion, it's perfectly fine. When it comes to benchmarks, it is a little bit on a level like almost 2 years ago.
If you are looking for a battery life beast, you've pretty much found it right here. Yeah, what is it? Lenovo's rating it at 18 hours, and we're seeing,
I think,
like
16.
16,
yeah.
16 hours? Woo! That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
But you know what? I think we almost got 18 hours out of this. And I don't know how they did this. Well, Of course, I do know that. First of all, it's a matter of the capacity of the battery, and then they're using a quad-core Cortex-A7 processor or SoC in here, which definitely makes this the longest running ultra-mobile tablet that we've ever had here in our office.
When it's coming to software, it's running Jelly Bean Android 4.2.2. So I mean, Lenovo's always done a good job about keeping their software up to date, although I think that the skin that they've used reminds me exactly of iOS. So I'm not a super fan of that, but you can always cover it up because it's Android.
Well, absolutely. If you want to have a different launcher on it, just download one. But you know what, besides that, I was kind of missing some own apps, some Lenovo apps on there, some apps that are kind of embracing also the form factor, where they're going to point out, you know what, this tablet is somehow different, because all they did was just working a little bit on the launcher, but then it's kind of stock Android, also in terms of the applications.
Yeah. And which is weird, because Lenovo has a really strong kitchen PC application suite that they could have launched on there. I mean, it's not as if Lenovo doesn't know how to do this. They just chose not to.
That was a little bit disappointing.
A little bit disappointing. Let's talk about the price. $229 is pretty competitive, and I think for an aluminum chassis, there's not much else out there that's going to be that well built for that price point.
But we could also argue, if you're paying $229 for a different device, namely the new Nexus 7, you're getting better specifications, you're getting lots more performance, a better display, and of course somehow also the latest Android on it. And therefore, to be honest, well, I have to give you this. For the build quality and for the design, the uniqueness of this device, I think it's still a very, very good price. When we're taking a look from the specifications perspective onto the new Lenovo Yoga Tablet 8, then I would say it's just slightly above mediocre.
Now, what about what we really thought, the editor's choice? This actually tugs at my heartstrings just a little bit, because finally I have a tablet that doesn't look like all of the others, and it has specific purposes with specific tasks in mind. They chose a middle, a subpar processor, but it's good enough for what they want it to do. So I mean, I really like it because it was a really purpose-built tablet for your average user.
I couldn't agree more, Nicole. Plus, on top of it, I have to admit that in terms of build quality and design, this is just raising the bar for Android tablets on the market. There is no other Android tablet out there. Actually, there's no other tablet in general out there that offers you anything like this, what the new Lenovo Yoga tablet does. And therefore, I really, really like it. It's different, it looks great, it looks sexy, it feels good. It doesn't feel like $229. This feels like a $400 or $500 device, right? It's slim, it's super thin, and trust me, when you're putting this on the table somewhere in a cafe, people wanna play around with it, and they're going to ask you, what kind of tablet is this? Especially when you're showing them these multi-modes, right? And just the versatility of this device. And therefore, yes, I totally love it. It's different. This is a device that I would use at home.
Absolutely. So that's been our review of the Lenovo Yoga 8. We both give it a definite thumbs up. I think we're giving it a silver rating in our rating system, and I would recommend that people buy it. So if my friends or family came to me, this would actually make it onto my personal recommendation list. So that's how I feel so strongly about this one.
Producing some outtakes. More ram, and ram.
We're having soup.
Ramen soup. Yeah, okay. I would probably say exactly the same.
Okay.
I would just repeat your words.
Perfect. Good thing I'm going first then. I know it's not the highest spec tablet out there, but I thought for what Lenovo